Vanglorious Vanguard.
Knowledge born.
Yeah.
United front. What you want, what you want, what you want.
To the Knowledge Radio.
We in here. What you got? Dot.
Work hard as a slave to one day be your savior. The wave unwavering. This is a labor of love. Rise with a purpose every day. Invigorated. If we were on TV, we'd be 10 times syndicated. If we waited for validation, a paycheck or accolades, we'd be starved, already lost or ran away. But when your square solid and your circle too, you don't need a place for silence. The concept is conquered through media, not areas of people activity. A mix that don't lose ethnicity, tightness that don't lose elasticity. Explicitly, this isn't where we give the novice regard. Nah, this is where knowledge is born. Last time that I checked, I'm undefeated. Deliver edicts, can't resist when the gods build and manifest freedom. When lines get crossed, they may push a loss, cause they get handed a check. We kick a can and cancel your cancerous gestures. A prophet vision, precision, the prescription for the sickness is to inoculate your fate with the winning. Arrogant beginnings turn to humble endings. And US with KBA is a win-win. 1K, 1K.
Peace and Black Power family. Welcome to another episode of Do Knowledge Radio. Place where knowledge is born. This is your host, Knowledge Born a Lot, and we are here. Let me tell you how good God is real quick. I just need the world to understand what's happening right here, right now, on this Black Business Spotlight series. We got a woman who does everything, okay? We got an everything woman who took time out of her busy schedule to descend down, okay, from the right hand of the Father to give us some love, to give us some attention, who has created some brilliant and magnificent books and stories for us to have motivation, for us to have inspiration, and for us to have edification right here. We got an author, we got a boss lady, we got a grandmama, we got everything all in one. Okay, we got an actress, we got a playwright, we so many layers and facets. Okay, I need y'all to understand this blessing that we got here today. And without any further ado, it becomes my honor and privilege at this time to introduce to some and present to others our special guest for this Black Business Spotlight, author and boss lady, Laura Simmons in the building.
Thank you for having me on the show. Hey. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Welcome to the platform. How you feeling today?
I'm good. I can't complain. I can, but I'm not.
Definitely honored and glad to have you here to spend a little time with us. You know, you're smiling. That's a good sign. You know what I'm saying? To celebrate you. So it is author Laura Simmons Day today. Okay, so we in the building.
Thank you.
If you want to take a moment to kind of introduce yourself, and we can just go from there.
Okay, my name is Laura Simmons. I am an author, motivational speaker. I'm a playwright. I'm in the process of actually getting a movie together. I also do voiceovers. I do radio personality. I'm a radio personality as well. And I'm a mom and a grandmother.
Right?
Mama and a wife. I'm sorry.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? I'm 31 in the building. You understand what I'm saying? So out of all the things that you could be doing, what was it about writing? What was it about, playwriting that propelled you into this particular line of work?
Well, let's say, at the age of 9 years old, I had a vision, and that vision was to become a playwright. I love to write ever since I was like 9 years old. I used to write little stories, and I used to watch one of my sister Rosemary, who actually used to write a lot of little plays and stuff. She would write she would have this little tablet that she keep all these little things, her little visions and stuff of her own personal plays that she would write. And I used to read some of the things that she used to write, and I used to say, wow, that I thought it was very impressive, and it was something that I desired to do. A lot of people don't know that about my sister, that she was one that really um inspired me a lot. Also, besides my mom and my dad, um sh my sister Rosemary is really one of the people that really inspired me to write. And from there, I took it from there, and I've been writing ever since.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's like
Okay.
water, but uh,
Yeah, the connection. You saying your little sister used to write? That was
my
the last
oldest
thing that I
sister,
heard.
this was one of my older sisters used to write. She used to write not books, but she used to had like these notebooks of little her little plays and thoughts and stuff like that. She used to have a lot of romantic stories though, and me and her had that in common, but I don't think she even realized it, that I used to snoop and read her her little notebooks and stuff, and it actually inspired me to want to write more.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Mhm.
So, at what age did you finally decide to your passion and write your first book? What was that process like for you?
That process, it was different. Now I would say it wasn't bad, but it was different. It was my first step out of my own comfort zone. Um I was, I want to say, I was in my 40s. I was in my early 40s when I first started writing. Um, and that was when one of my sisters had passed away. When she passed away, it really it gave me an eye opener. And that's when I decided that, you know what, tomorrow's not promised to any of us. I'm gonna do what it is that I really want to do. I remember when I was like 9 years old when we first did our first stage play. We did a little play in our basement, and we invited the family to the play, and we charged them each 25 cents a piece. So I
That's
always
right.
have been one. Yeah, that's been always. I had a big big thoughts and big dreams as a little girl. I always had big thoughts and dreams and stuff.
So that first book, do you remember, what you were reading, or I know you said this event was a catalyst. Do you know what you were reading that kind of got you into writing yourself to share your story?
Okay, so what happened was my youngest child is which is my daughter. Um, she used to always talk to me about chicken. She wanted me to make her some of my chicken. She loved chicken, but she loved mama's chicken. So
That's right.
we was just her and I was just joking, and I said to her, I said, one day I'm gonna write a story about you and your love for chicken. And I started writing. She started giving me her opinion on it. She was 7, and she would give me her opinion on it. We would go back and forth, and so we finished writing this book up. But it was just something that was supposed to be just between her and I. But when I let somebody read it, a friend of mine read it, and my friend suggested that I get it published. And I said, well, Lord, if it's meant for me to get it published, give me a sign. So next thing I know, a couple of days later, the phone rung, and it was a publishing company. And the publishing company asked me about my book, about publishing my book. And I told her, I said, well, I'm not really sure if I want to do this. She said, just let me read the manuscript and I'll let you know what we should do, what you should do from there. And I sent her the manuscript and she called me back. She said, oh, you girl, you got to get this published. You got to. And that's how it started. And we started writing from there. We went from the night we had chicken for dinner to the Alex and her crazy Shonda A. Simpson and the Crazy Storm. Then we had Alex and her clubhouse friends. We went to parts of their face. A version for boys and a version for girls. A day out with mom. Um, we had a few other books. I can't think of every last one of them right now, but and then I started as my daughter started getting older. You notice how your children act and stuff. They get into that mood where they don't really want to be around you as much, and that's what happened.
Right.
Yeah, so she started acting funny. So I asked her, are you still interested in writing? She said, yeah, but not, mom, you want to do it like 24/7. I can't do it like that. And so next thing I know, I was writing by myself. So that's when I wrote Little Sisters Listen Up. And
Mm.
when I wrote Little Sisters Listen Up, that book was basically dedicated. It was for her. It was about her. It was things that she was going through, and I just wanted to share with her that she's not the only person that has been down those roads that she's going down, because me as a mom, I've been down those roads too. So, and then I wrote Little Brothers Listen Up, and that one was to my son. He's 24 now, but I wrote it because there were things about him that he didn't know, and I felt that, okay, so if they don't know and they have both of us with them, they have both of their parents with them, maybe somebody else's child may need some, little guidance there too. So that's when I decided that I was going to write the different books. But when I started with Little Sisters Listen Up was something that it was like a spiritual thing. Um I prayed on it. I had been praying on it and asking God to give me the answers and this and that. So for a whole year, the Lord woke me up at 4 a.m. every morning, and I will write down these notes on this notepad. And I didn't know what it was for. Really, honestly, I didn't know. And so when the year was up, I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this, because to me it looked like a bunch of scrabble on in this book, in this notebook. And I remember going to the hospital, and I was going to see my sister, and I was telling her about it. And she asked me, could she see it? And I let her read it. And she said to me, she said, sis, you're supposed to put this into a book. I said, well, how am I put it in a book? She said, you got to ask the Lord to give you the steps to now. How do you prepare the book? And I said, okay, so what kind of title would I give it? She was the one who gave me the title, Little Sisters Listen Up. And that's how I came up with Little Sisters Listen Up. And then with Little Brothers Hear Me Out, the prophet that I follow, he was the one who suggested you write one. You need to write, if you wrote one for the girls, you need to write one for the boys as well. So that's how that came about. Mhm.
See what you get in the interview. you just go along in the process, and you're so busy in the creative process and the marketing and promotion process and all of that, that you don't get a chance to reflect on your work. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
if you look at the beginning of the beginning story in Genesis, on the seventh day he rested. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like what
Mm-hmm.
that really means. We don't really take inventory on that. Like God rested. Like how is that possible? You see what I'm saying? Like yes,
Yeah.
like you have to understand. You have to take in what you gave as an output to the world. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And
Right.
the story behind it. We don't always know the story. We don't always get the story. We fall in love with the story. We can read the books, and we can
Mm-hmm.
try to interpret, where the author was going and what aim and the goal and objective. It sounded like she talking about me or my daughter or my son. You understand what I'm saying? Like, these are all of the
Mm-hmm.
facets that touch the mind, and then it begin to push those things out to people. Like, girl, you got to read this book. I thought about you when I was reading it, and this is how it begins to spread.
Yeah.
Well, being able to come back and hear from the author, like, okay, like this is how it started. Who would know? You see what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Who would
Yeah.
know unless you told them? If you didn't tell them, they would know. So these things become a beautiful thing when you send out that signal. It's seen and heard everywhere. Because people
Mm-hmm.
have families. That's the only way you can get here. You come to a family, and everyone thinks, okay, I'm in this alone. This is this
Yes.
challenge. These wonder years that you're going through, and all of that. Now you don't have to be alone. You have
Yeah.
something where someone is speaking to you in your language from your experience. You see what I'm
Yep.
saying? And you encourage them to write about their experience instead of
Yeah.
blogging. Mark Zuckerberg don't need to know everything. We act
No.
like he needs to know everything, but some things are private and share. So I'm just imagining the greatness that comes along with having that kind of foresight, that the creator endowed you with, to be able to say, let me talk to her. Because
Mm-hmm.
oftentimes, we go from one generation to the next like clueless. Like, our parents kept stuff from us, and you were
Yeah.
open enough, to be able to be vulnerable, with your daughter and reach her in that way, and then your son in that way. You see what I'm saying? Because
Mm-hmm.
he's going to go look for a wife if he doesn't have a wife already.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have children. This is a cycle that needs to continue in a righteous manner, and you can't do things without guidance. You can,
No.
but we've seen what
What
happens.
happens? Yeah.
So
Check out
it's a beautiful
45. No.
thing.
You knew I was gonna throw that one in there,
Right.
right?
Hey, yeah, I love it. You understand what I'm saying? So to be able to produce a work, you know, all of the works that you had, all
Yeah.
family oriented and centered around your family, centered around your, you know, internal and nuclear family, because you
Yeah.
mentioned, the prophet gave you that motivation for the next one. You see what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
all there together, as children of our creator, these gifts that were given and we didn't squander them, and that you sought his face first when, crafting things, and then you waited for that connection in regards to
Mm-hmm.
manifestation. When was the time?
Yep.
What was it for? You were dutiful to the instructions, and then when it was time, boom. You know,
Mm.
well, I would say in its season. We use time. Those things are relative,
Yeah.
but seasons. You know,
Yeah.
so these things happen in their season, and in due season, we got these offerings. So, how
Yeah.
did you feel after writing these books and actually getting them out there? These are like other children that are coming from you, especially the
Mhm.
ones that you did with your daughter. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What was that feeling like for you as an
Wow.
author to see a finished work?
It was an awesome feeling. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna backtrack it a little. The funny thing is, the funniest part of when I first started publishing was I went through a publishing company. When I first started publishing, my first, I want to say my first three books were through a publishing company. Well, if you do your research. You learn a lot of different things. Okay, so in the beginning, I was just green. I didn't know anything about how the publishing business worked. I knew nothing. So I published my first 3 books through the publishing company. Then I later found out that in order for me to change anything about my book that I wrote, I have to go through the publishing company to do so. Now, in order for me to do this, I had to pay the publishing company to do these changes in order for me to make my own changes to my own book. So if I wanted to drop the price down a little bit, I couldn't unless I go through them. And in order for me to bring the price back up after the sale is over with, I got to go back through them, pay them again to do it again. So that was like a learning experience for me. So then I started researching and I started looking up different things, trying to find out how do I self-publish. So I learned how to self-publish, and it's been like the greatest feeling ever, you know. And the funny thing is, I get a lot of people that inbox me, send me, they asked a friend will text me about it. Can you help, so and so and so and so publish a book? And it's not, I said, do you know? And I had to tell somebody because I had to tell them this because, you know, a lot of people want something for nothing. But guess what? Nobody gave me anything when I was going through the process of doing this publishing. Every time I would ask somebody else information, nobody wanted to give it to me. So I had to start doing my own research. I don't mind helping people, but don't, my thing is some people just get a little carried away. They get mad because your time is your time. It's supposed to be your time. But because you say, well, you know what? I can't help you right now. And I'm like, I had to tell a couple of people, I said, do you know that people get paid to give that information to you? Do you know that if you ask other authors information, they're going to charge you for it? And they was like, no, I didn't, I said, ask another author. Don't ask me. Ask another author and see what they tell you. They're doing a course. I said, they're going to charge you for the course that they are teaching because guess what? They had to find out this information. They had to do the research. And it's a process. It's not as simple as people seem to think it is. They think that, oh, yeah, well, you should be able to you shouldn't have a problem with giving me this information. Well, guess what? I had to do my research. You do yours. If you feel that I'm not the person that you want, because I'm not giving you the information right away, or I'm not typing the stuff up for you and stuff, then you need to do your own research just like I had to. I failed. I cried many days because I didn't understand a lot of stuff. And I kept on until I figured it out. And that's the part that people don't understand, the background of putting a book together. They don't understand that part. See, when I first started, the publishing company did everything for me. So because they did everything for me, I knew nothing about all the grunt work that had to be done in the back of this book in order to do the book. I didn't know about all that stuff. So once I learned about how that works and stuff, then I started, okay, let me find out this. Let me research on this. And I stopped asking people. I started researching myself and started looking up the information myself to find out how to do the different things that I learned to do. Like marketing myself. I learned how to do that on my own. No one taught me how to market myself. I learned on my own how to market myself.
And nobody's gonna do for you like you, and not with
Mm-mm.
your vision, your goal, your dream, your aspiration.
No.
You get opportunities to, share that in different spaces, but that's
Exactly.
still, on you. If you don't manage those opportunities well, if you don't make a good impression, this is still all you. And how this, continues to repeat, and the
Mm-hmm.
lessons learned. That's a valuable lesson that you learn because there are plenty of people that are out here and in the industry. So whether it's the industry that you're in or the industry period. There are people that are there and their job is to, take advantage of you. You
Yep.
understand what I'm
Yep.
saying? Like, so, you got to be wise to deception out here. But, in this way, I believe that our creator was showing you that you don't need anybody other than your creator.
Yeah.
You
Him.
understand what I'm saying? You
Yep.
don't need to be leaning on people. They weren't there when you got there. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So all of these things have been divinely revealed to you. So these other things, if you just seek that, that will be your, driving force.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, you went within and you learned those lessons. I think those were blessings.
Yep.
Oftentimes we might look at misfortune in a way,
Mm-hmm.
and how we view it is how it'll be, forever etched in our mind. So we looked at it like blessings. Like, okay,
Yep.
uh, definitely wanted to be on this path and carve out this lane and be able to do from your spirit and from your heart without,
Mm-hmm.
any attachments or strings.
Things.
Those
Yep.
things were removed. Yeah, they're removed. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They were moved out of the way. But if you were supposed to be the one that was supposed to be the company, this or that, that's
Mm-hmm.
how it would have been. So, all
Yeah.
praise.
And don't get me wrong, I don't mind helping people. I will help you, but to a certain extent, I can't let you make a fool out of me either, because I'm not,
Right.
I can't, I'm gonna help you with what I can help you with. But don't think I'm gonna, okay, now I'm gonna ask her about this too, and how she did this and how she did. It's okay to ask the question here and there, and I don't mind answering questions. But when you start going into, yeah, so how do you put it together? What do you do from here? And like, I'm okay, so I'm supposed to sit on the phone with you and explain to you how to put your book together. When
Right.
nobody sat on the phone and explained anything to me, I had to look and search. I lost money along the way and
Right.
everything. And it's a process. And that's why I tell anybody you're trying to get into the business of writing books and stuff. Learn for yourself. Get an understanding of how the process works. Um, because a lot of people don't like to share their information with you, and so, but I'm not gonna say that I wouldn't help nobody if they can't. I'll help you as much as I possibly can, but I'm not gonna let you make no fool out of me, because I've seen people that do some things that they've done things that wasn't right. I've seen the things that they've done to me personally, and I never said anything. I said, but I helped them. But when I asked them a question, they start telling me how much it will cost me for them to give me some information. So I started learning. I said, you know what? You can't let everybody use you. You just can't. You can't do it, because when what you learn is what I learned down from my experiences, that some people, you could help them, but when it's time for them to help you, they won't. And that's what I had to learn. So that's why I said, it's always good to do your own research and learn things on your own.
I agree. I just want to pull up the website real quick and see some of the stuff you got going on over here. Are you able to see it?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. Okay. So kind of walk us through real quick, which is what we're seeing here,
Okay,
if you
so
can.
then there's the about us page. It talks about my daughter and I. It tells you a little bit about our background and how we got started. Then there's pictures of different things we've done, like the charities and events and stuff, where she did homeless. She fed the homeless with her dad. They went out to feed the homeless. I did feed the homeless with some the groups that I've worked with. I actually played Santa at one of the events for the
Oh,
homeless shelter. And everybody was like really shocked because they didn't think I was gonna do it. But and I'm a totally different person from that little girl, little shy girl back in when I was little. So yeah, and it just basically tells you a little bit about us. Then there's a page where you can actually send us a letter and let us know how you think we're doing. Then there's the books, and that's where the prices of the books are and all the different books that we have um, on there. And we actually have T-shirts now. So you'll see that on our page as well. And the pictures that you see are
sexy t-shirt.
pictures, yeah. And the pictures you see at the top are pictures of like different people that have purchased our books, and they send their pictures to us to let us know that they enjoyed the book, and showing us how they had family time with their children and things like that. So that's what you see at the top there. And at one of the schools, that one of the teachers read the book to some of the school, one of her, some of her classmates and stuff, her students and stuff. Yeah. So, yep.
That's beautiful right there.
Hmm.
So what's been this reception, before we get into motivational speaking and directing and producing and all that? What's been the reception, for, because I see, books aren't just for the kids, it's for everyone. We write stories for little ones, age 3 to 10, young adults and adults. Let's make reading fun. What's been that
Yeah.
reception? Can you tell us about some letter or some story, some email, something from that you received, if you have a few of them to share with us about, the reception of the books, or, what was
Um,
something that stood out to you? You was like, oh man, people actually reading this,
Yeah, actually, on my Amazon page, it has like I have like probably about 30 something response to the book Little Sisters Listen Up. It might be more than that now, but it was one young lady that she sent me a picture. She sent a picture of her. It was during the holidays, Kwanzaa, and she was saying she had all the young ladies were sitting around with my book Little Sisters Listen Up, and she was like they thought it was very inspirational, and it was a very good book, and they were really excited about it. And then I got a letter, one letter I had got from I got two letters through my email. And one of the young ladies was telling me that she really appreciated me writing a book, Little Sisters Listen Up, because she said she thought it was very powerful and it was a much needed book for our young ladies today. So I really got some really great feedback from a lot of the books that we have written. And I always get a lot of feedback from my character, Grandma Lala, through our website. We get a lot of feedback through there. So yeah.
So you went from books to this adaptation of plays. How did that come about? And, how has that been so far? Seeing your
Well,
characters come.
my very first play was supposed to have been last year of 2020, but when the pandemic hit, it just changed everything. We tried to move it to another month, and we thought this pandemic was only going to be around for maybe a few months or so, and then it would be gone. So we end up had to cancel the stage play. So we're hoping that they get this pandemic under control, so that we can get back out here and get our stage play out there. But the rehearsals was like phenomenal. I really enjoyed the people that were part of the show. They really brought the characters to life. They really did an awesome job. So when we do come back out with the stage play, um, I'm sure it'll probably sell out again because the show had actually sold out, but I had to refund everybody their money because the pandemic. So
Mm.
yeah.
So is there a thought? I don't know if you can share it with us or not, but I'm gonna ask. Is there a thought for animation?
You know, I never thought about that until just recently. I was watching something on TV, and um, it was a animation show that that I thought was really good, and I started imagining my one of my books as animation. Yeah, I think it's possible. I just need the right people. That's all to help me out with it. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I asked because there's not a lot of proper representation of us, and especially with family relationships and things like that on the
Hmm.
screen. There's a lot of exploitation from people that
Oh
are
yeah.
not us, who want to push all kinds of agendas into our home. You know,
Hmm.
but there's not too many of us who are culturally grounded and spiritually grounded enough to present an offering that is pleasing to the eye and educational and all of those things. We saw a lot
Right.
of those adaptations in other homes, but not for our home.
Right.
I think the closest we came was the Cosby Show and Good Times,
Yep.
and I think that was it. you know
Yep.
and they saw fit to try to gerrymander that around, even with the father being taken out of the picture,
Yep.
early on in the show. You see what
Yep.
I'm saying? So there
Yep.
was all that other stuff that was there, that we kind of had to suffer through, and then we went from that to the extreme. Even though it was good to see a doctor and a lawyer in the home and the children,
Hmm.
and, that wasn't a reality that we could face. That's only something that we could dream about. You know,
Right.
Good Times was closer to home with us and in the lives that we were living. You know,
Hmm.
and in the spaces and places that we know, the elevator didn't work, 11 flights of stairs, and all of that. You understand? Like
Yep.
even down expressions and things like that. These were more relatable. The Cosby
Hmm.
Show was great for a positive image of a two-parent household, the family, and everything like
Right.
that. Affluent, but it wasn't a reality for many of us,
No.
and that was during Reaganomics. You see what I'm
Yep.
saying? So there were a
Yep.
lot of other things that was slid under that guise. So it
Yeah.
just would be interesting to see relatable family experiences from people who have a cultural stake and that are spiritually grounded, that can present an offering that would be great for our
Yeah.
children to pass on. So
Hmm.
that's just my thought
Yeah,
process
I
right
think
there.
so too. I think the same thing, but just finding the right people is the problem because recently, a few months back, um, I connected with somebody that promised me that he could help me with producing a movie with my book and all kinds of stuff he promised, but he was just basically there to do just what a lot of people out here are doing now, scam. He was the scammer, and he scammed not only me, he scammed a whole lot of people. So it's like finding the right people to connect with me that can help me really get to where I'm trying to get to, you know. If I really, if I could find a production company that can really help me get there, then yeah, it could be done. Cause I have some visions, boy, that I really, I am ready to unleash to the world.
Okay, I'll send you some information from some people I know.
Okay.
They're not scammers.
Okay.
They're not
That
scammers.
would be good.
So that'd be it'd be awesome to see because there are some, animations that are out there. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That are excellent, that are good. So everybody has a production team. So
Okay.
I introduce you to, you know, one of my
Okay.
sisters, Dr. Mahat. She's good.
Okay.
Um, so now let's talk about this famous character that's known all over the world. Grandma Lala. What was the motivation for this character, and what was your vision for her?
Well, Grandma Lala is more like an alter ego for me. It was my way of coping with different things, and um, when I get into the character Grandma Lala, I think of my mom. My mom has passed, but I think of her. And so that's basically where Grandma Lala came from. It's like it makes me feel better. She gives me, you know, this energy that sometimes I lose, and when she comes out, I just feel like a totally different person. So yeah, she's cool. She's a cool person.
And you mentioned earlier that you have a show that you do on Sundays. Tell us about the
Yeah.
show, where we can
Um.
find it.
Okay. So I do story time with Grandma Lala. I do interviews with different people, with different authors, realtors, singers, whatever you do. I do like different little interviews with them. And I'm in character as Grandma Lala. So Grandma Lala is this character. She has done everything that somebody to come on her show say they do. And oh, I done that, babies. I used to rap with Heavy D and all of them babies back in the days and stuff like that. So she just everything that somebody say they do, or she done it too. So that's that character, and you can find that show. It comes on every Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern time, 12 p.m. Central time, and it's on the new mixtape FM Hot 96.5. And the name of it is Storytime with Grandma Lala. I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Can you hear
Okay.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you
I
now.
was steady talking.
I ain't heard a word you said. I just happened to notice that your mouth was moving, and I said, okay, well, um, I said, I guess I better tell them. Yeah,
So that's Sunday. So so Grandma Lala is the most relatable person and the most multi talented person on the planet. So shout
yeah,
out to Grandma. I love it.
yep.
I love that. You know.
Yeah, baby. Back in
Again,
the day, I used to wear these little red shoes, baby, and they was a little too tiny for me. But I used to do ballet in those shoes, baby.
how do you stay in character? For the whole interview.
You know what? It's so easy. It comes so natural now that it's not hard to do. My daughter was sitting up there cracking up laughing. I was doing an interview and she heard it. And she had to leave out the room. She said, "Oh my God, Ma, you really get into that character." She said, "And you don't even laugh or nothing when you do it." She said, "You got that character." But yeah, it's easy now. In the beginning, it was kind of hard because I would just laugh myself. I would find myself laughing too. I remember I did the first one I did was I was doing story time with Grandma Lala, and I was reading the book the night we had chicken for dinner. So Grandma Lala said, "Ooh, Lord, this book then got me hungry." So she picks up a chicken leg and start biting into the chicken leg. And my daughter said, "Oh my God." Even my husband had to turn around and he started laughing. I said, y'all can't laugh while I'm recording here. But yeah, it became, like I said, it just comes natural now.
We got to take that show on the road, especially with some of the things that we got going on out here. They say laughter is the best medicine, and
Oh yeah.
if you have something natural like that, I think you should take that show on the road, whether it's physical locations or virtual locations. I think that would be another stream of income where another God-given talent that you're using to help inspire and educate and motivate people. All over the world. I can see that. I can definitely see
Yeah.
that.
If anyone's interested in having Grandma Lala come on your show or whatever, you can go to my story time with Grandma on Instagram. And on there in my bio, it'll tell you who you need to contact and stuff. And they'll set up the appointments and stuff. They will have me come on out. And same thing, like if you want me to speak at an event or something, because I do a lot of speaking at schools. I do a lot of speaking to our young people in the school system and stuff. Um, the same thing, if you want to have me come out, author Laura Simmons come out to speak, you can go to you can go to our website, which is www.mother-daughter-team-books.com, and go in there and leave a message in there letting them know that you want me to come out and speak at your school. Or you can go on my Instagram page, which is Mother Daughter Team LLC. On there in my bio, it also has the information of who you need to contact, and that person will take it from there and they will set up the interview. They would set it up where I can come and speak at your schools or wherever you want me to speak at. If you want me to go to the day camps and do Grandma Lala, oh, I will have a ball doing that. So yeah. Can you hear me? Hello. Hello. Hello, everyone. You back?
Yeah, I heard you say, "Can you hear me?"
Oh,
And
okay.
you know,
Yeah.
yeah, I thought I had put it on the screen, but evidently it didn't stay.
Mm-mm. Oh, yeah, it's up there. You talking about the
There
website?
we go.
Yeah,
Yes.
I see it. Yeah, and then back in 2013, I actually did some plays, not plays, fashion shows and stuff, where I had young people. I had a lot of young people that came out. They did the Thriller video for me. My nephew was the Michael Jackson, and it was really nice. And I, like I said, I love doing stuff like that where I'm using my creative self to put
Right.
my vision that I'm having to work. When I get my vision, when they get my juices get to rolling, I'm ready to do my thing. And the one thing that I had to learn though is that you can't do everything by yourself. It's always good to have a team. And I had to learn the hard way because I remember when I did my very first fashion show in 2011, I got sick after the show because I was in every space. I was trying to do everything. So that's the same thing with the stage play. I had to realize that when I was preparing for my stage play last year, I had to um, give out different things to different people to do instead of trying to do it all by myself. And because sometimes I have a tendency to do that because I want it to be. I'm a perfectionist and I want it to be perfect. I want the show to be perfect. So, you
Right.
know, who better can who can do that the best? You yourself. If you do it yourself, you can do it the best. So that was the problem that I was having. So um now I'm learning to have other people help me out. So
So
no.
that was my last question to ask about balance and self care with everything you got going on. How do you find and achieve balance, and how important was self care?
Yeah. Yeah, it is very important. Self care is very important, and I'm gonna tell you, the important thing about having um, the support system that you need, that is important as well. I remember when I did my show, the Thriller fashion show. I forgot to eat. I forgot to eat that morning, and I started feeling nauseous. And my husband had brought me some breakfast, and he told me, "No, you're gonna sit down and eat. You're gonna stop for a minute and sit down and eat." He said, "The show will go on regardless." He said, "But you need to stop and sit down and eat and take care of you first." And so, yeah, it's so important because you will get drained. You will be drained. I remember every bone on my body was hurting. That the first show that I did, every bone, because I was trying to do too much all by myself. So yeah.
Well, as we bring this to a close, final thoughts. Give us some pearls of wisdom that we need to know on how to better relate to one another. One generation to the next. Since you do a lot of speaking, with youth and families and things like that, how could we better relate with each other? And one more time, where people can find you, how they can support you, how they can book you. Social media and the like.
Okay. So on my Facebook page, you can go to the Mother Daughter Team books. And on my website, you can go to www.motherdaughterteambooks.com. For speaking events, you can go to Mother Daughter Team LLC on Instagram. And for Grandma Lala, you can go to Storytime with Grandma on Instagram. And I also have a YouTube channel, which is Storytime with Grandma Lala. And she's also on TikTok as well. And it's under Storytime with Grandma Lala. And um, and I would like to, and I would say to people, it is so important to know your worth, and it 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 plays a major part in how you react to different things that you are going through on your journey. Um, you also have to make sure that if you fall, don't lay down in pity. Get up and get back on your horse or back on your feet and do what you got to do. Because we all gonna get knocked down a couple of times. You some get knocked down more than others, but you got to get back up and keep on pushing. You can't give up. There's no such thing as stopping. So yeah. Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me? And I would say to you guys, don't forget to go out and get my book, Little Sisters Listen Up, and Little Brothers Hear Me Out. They're available on my website, which is www.motherdaughterteambooks.com. And also you can purchase them on Amazon as well. And that's about it.
I definitely thank you for your time and your jewels, and definitely look forward to working with you in the future. And we will have a giveaway here in a couple of. So some lucky listener will be able to get a couple copies of these books out here. Okay, some lucky listener or listeners will be able to get some autographed copies. Okay.
Yes.
Dr. Laura Simmons was gracious enough to bless us with a few copies becoming in the mail soon. So as soon as I get them, mine is mine, okay? Because I'm, keeping.
You want your own.
You understand?
Okay.
Mine is mine. So, there'll be a couple for y'all. So Thank you again. Thank you. Much love to you and your family. The offerings that y'all provide are, very, very valuable to our people and to people around the world. And I wish y'all all of the best. And I'm here to help aid and assist in any way that I can, because definitely want to see y'all win out here.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you having me on your show today, too.
All right. Enjoy the rest of your day.
All right. You too.
All right.
Bye-bye.
All right, family. We out of here. Catch us in about an hour. We'll be live. Black Survive. That series choice is yours. So tell a friend, because we're getting into it tonight. Peace, love, black power.
Yeah. Now we gonna tell them. That in front. We tell them like this, yo. I'm an African. I'm a African. I'm an African. I'm a African. Yeah, y'all like that? No more. This man's mind is open. I'm an African. I'm a African. I'm an African. I'm a. Let's get
And
back
that
to
motive
the
is best developed by recognizing the common enemy.